Hello and welcome into the Week 9 edition of the Commissioner's Corner in the League of Extraordinary Salesmen. The 49ers were on a bye this week, so hopefully they get healthy and are ready to tackle the second half of the season, while the Jets had an entertaining win against the Texans on Halloween. But a congratulations goes out to Nick with this week's high score, a 173.65 to 109.05 victory over Simmons. A complete dismantling of him, where almost all of Nick's players, except his defense and his kicker, scored double-digit points. His lowest point positional player had just over 15 points, and that was his quarterback. Everybody went off. Just a great showing all around, very balanced. Congratulations, Nick. Let's see what this wonderful video from Jesse in our Worst to First segment.
All right, folks, let me tell you, this was one of the most incredible fantasy football weeks we've ever seen. A truly tremendous week. Some would say it's maybe the most tremendous week we've ever had in fantasy football. Now, my team, it was not good, folks. Not good at all. I had negative points on defense. Can you believe that? Like, unbelievable. Some people are saying it might be the worst performance of the season. Some are saying worst performance ever in fantasy football, and maybe it was, all right? Like, I can't win every week. But let's talk about Nick. Nick, he had Ayak on IR. Didn't even play. And he still managed to put up huge numbers and win. That's talent, folks. That's talent. That's winning. That's the kind of person we want in this league. He went out there and he made fantasy football great again. So big congratulations to Nick. He's doing fantastic things. Truly one of the best. You know, he truly is one of the best. But watch out, Nick. Be back next week, and we're going to be winning, and we're going to make fantasy football great again in this household.
Yes, Jesse, you are correct. It was a beautiful victory, beautiful for all. I can tell you it was great. Everything's great, just wonderful. Nick, congratulations once again. It's just incredible how terrific you were. With that, let's take a look at some other matchups from around the league. Jacob made things interesting on Sunday night when Jordan Addison scored a touchdown and my kicker had negative 3 points. Fortunately, he was able to battle back to 0 before he went on IR. Ultimately, I was able to get the 140.4 to 115.5 victory, despite Derek Carr starting for Tony and getting his head coach Dennis Allen fired from both the Raiders and now the Saints. Tony does get huge days from Devon Achane and Zay Flowers to get the 114.8 to 88.75 win over Jesse. Frustration is starting to set in for Matthew as he has a reasonable day to put him in position to get a win. Unfortunately for him, Val got a monster week from Jackson Smith Winjigba to come away with a 124.6 to 111.25 victory. Jeff is continuing to ride his studs Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley as he cruises to a 135.1 to 114.9 win over Dolan. And Matt is able to get a big bounce back week from Patrick Mahomes and Chuba Hubbard, while Goody was concerned about potentially having to do a low score video. In the end, Matt gets the 140.96 victory.
Hey guys, matchups this week. Nothing was really close. Just figuring out we were waiting to figure out who was going to suck harder, whether it was Jesse or Goody. But Matthew and Goody continue to throw big baby fits, kind of like the O-line coach for the University of Louisiana, Monroe, who's just stomping, pissed off that Joseph always seems to get the breaks. I mean, it's better to be luckier than good. 51% of the time he's always right. I mean, he just has good luck. I mean, obviously he married me. Anyway, it's time for your Sitter Sub of the Week segment. The Sit of the Week goes to Jesse, where he went with Tank Bigsby and an awful Jags offense over Jalen Tolbert and the pass-happy Cowboys. This 6.4 point difference wouldn't have given him the win, but was the reason he had to provide that terrible Trump impression. The sub of the week goes to Goody with the waiver wire pickup of utility man Taysom Hill. He got a much needed 14.5 points from the tight end position. This didn't give him the win, but did help him avoid the worst of first segment by a little over 2 points. Well, this has been unofficially brought to you by Beach at Deli Midtown, where Aloha is served daily.
Looking ahead to next week, Nick has won 3 in a row and is targeting a first-round playoff bye, while Matthew is in serious trouble, sitting at 1-8 and seems destined for the Yuck for Yellow placard. Simmons has some injuries and bye weeks to deal with as he hopes to bounce back going up against Goody, who does a better job of complaining about the schedule than winning games as he finds himself at 4-5. Dolan finds himself in a situation as Simmons as his playoff hopes are slim, taking on Matt, who looks to knot up the standings. Jesse, fresh off that disastrous showing last week, hopes to redeem himself here going up against Jacob, who needs a new team name as he has now more losses than wins. Val has a very limited roster, yet somehow continues to pull out victories, taking on Tony, who is hitting his midseason stride. And in the game of the week, we have Jeff taking on myself. These are currently the top 2 teams in the league, and both are looking to get this win to maintain that coveted playoff bye. Jeff has been led by Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara, who are the RBs 2 and 3 through the first 9 weeks, trailing only Derrick Henry, while I have a more balanced offense led by 11th round draft pick and rookie sensation Jaden Daniels. This matchup has big end of season implications. So, as we look ahead to week 10, it looks like the computer comrades, Dolan, Simmons, and Matthew, all had the fantasy football draft software up, locked and loaded. It doesn't seem to be paying off very well, as those 3 teams are currently 3 of the bottom 4 in the league, and the only one that joins them there is Matt, who has had an unlucky break, as well as the fact that this is only his 2nd season ever playing fantasy football and barely knows some of the players' names. So don't know if that's a great return on your investment. But as we look towards the actual football games, the Bengals are taking on the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, followed up by the complete trash heap that we send to Europe. This time, we are sending them the Giants and the Panthers. Oof, awful. So bad going to Munich. So we get to spread it out. It doesn't even go just to London. It also goes to Munich. God, so bad. Thank goodness we don't have to watch those games. Fortunately, immediately following that game, the 49ers will be taking on the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast, early morning start doesn't usually bode well, but the 49ers coming off a bye. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey is back for the 49ers, and of course for Matthew's team to maybe propel him to avoid that yuck for yellow. And the Jets are taking on the Cardinals. That got flexed out of the prime time, given the fact that the Jets have fired their coach and Jeff Ulbrich just got his first victory, followed up by the Dolphins and the Rams. So hopefully Tua is able to play. The Dolphins offense looks entirely different anytime they don't have to start somebody by the name of Skylar Thompson. God, that guy sucks. Anyways, best of luck this week, and Commissioner out.